Hey, everybody.
It is Scotch for Dummies.
Scotch
Thursday Night
for
Live.
Dummies.
Having a good night so far.
Heck yeah, man.
How do they do three in your, like this? There's only three of us. That's
Yes.
why so it's this way.
Tres.
Tres. Don't do this way and end up tipping them off. Gotta do.
Yeah, they can tell you're not German.
What are you doing?
A movie reference. He knows what I'm talking about.
What
Glorious
are you
Bastards.
doing?
It's a good movie.
Happy Thursday. Welcome to Scotch for Dummies. Gentlemen, happy freaking Thursday.
Cheers.
It's been kind of a long week for me. I'm kind of glad to get through it.
Busy
Even
week.
though tomorrow's an off day, I have to work in the morning. Oh, well. Let's say hi to everybody. We got a pretty good show. We're going to do a Dram good time. We're going to re-review something that is on Andrew's take, so he knows
Should be fun.
what's been done there. We've got some interesting Scotch in the news to talk about. That's fun.
I like that.
And then we've got a couple of banter topics that we kind of want to run by you and maybe get some of your feelings and thoughts. And who knows, maybe if things go well and we're feeling, froggy, we can give a sampler away or two or something. Who knows? I don't know.
Yeah, so if you're not already logged in, log in so you can provide comment when we get to some of this banter
This
stuff.
is true.
Because we want to know, hear from you. And we do want it live, so bring it in and let us know what you think. All right.
Anyway, before we get into saying hello, we have started off with a Glenmo, and it's an interesting Glenmo. It's not one that I can say I never, I've seen on the shelves laying around. It's called Milson.
Milson, yeah.
I don't know anything about it.
It's
which
40,
is
is
crazy.
it 40 or 46?
46%, which is
ABV.
good.
Yeah, I don't know. Actually, I've not seen this one before. Is travel retail or is this
I don't think so. I think it's
private edition?
It's private. Yeah,
I don't.
So it's
I mean, I almost want to email Dan, be like, Dan, tell me what am I missing?
well,
there?
yeah, maybe we should have done. I mean, I'm sure we can find it online, but
It's the seventh release from the private edition. Our whiskey creators have developed an exceptional expression that deserves to be shared with a select audience of Scotch whiskey aficionados.
So
that sounds expensive.
I get a real good sweet note, but I actually get a real light peach note on the nose.
It's a nice, easy drinking, light, good finish, light dram.
I would. My first question to Dan would be: is this got any Glenmo 10 in it? Because that's what they're known for.
You're right. It's non-aged. There's a non-aged statement whiskey.
Right. So I don't know because traditionally all Glenmos start with Glenmo 10. So good
Except
question.
for the Glenmo X and the
There's an exception for
tail of the
everything.
cake and tail of the tree or whatever that one is. Tail of the forest.
Tail of the Forest, which we have to review that one still. I think
Tail of the tail.
Tail of the tree.
So
Tail of
it
the sky.
says it's a single malt matured in ex-bourbon casks and extra. It's hard to read because of the glare. Extra matured in former wine casks.
Yeah, I can tell that.
Yeah, actually, and then ex-toasted for the purpose.
So
I would say I can see the wine influence in this.
Interesting. But that's what's in our glass. What's in your glass? Let's say hi to see who's here. We got Stephen Rogers. He was on the pre-show a little bit. Didn't get a chance to talk to you much, Stephen, but it was good to see you. Haven't seen you in a while.
Log 11.
Yeah. And so where is Trooper Henry from?
Offshore eating pecan pie and watching us drinking whiskey. Yeah, you are.
We'll drink for you, Trooper.
That sounds
Cheers.
awesome. Cheers.
Alan Newland, cheers to you, my friend.
Crafty Wheel. Tamar is always in the house.
Crafty Wheel, new patron. Thanks, buddy.
Yep. Me, myself,
Heck
and whiskey.
yeah.
Hey, Nick.
Nick.
All the way from
All
New
with
Zealand.
Him and his
Zealand,
cat.
man. Heck,
Him and his
him
cat.
and his cat were in the pre-show.
Bobby J, good to see you. Hopefully
Look
see you
at
in the
that
after
guy.
show.
Yeah, where you been, Bobby? You've been busy. Too busy for us.
Look, I love Kim. She's on here
I do too. It
I
was really
like
good
how
to
she's
see
got
her.
parentheses Kim now. It's great.
Yeah, it was good to see her tonight. She's been vacationing.
Martin and Steve A.
Work
Steve
vacation.
A. Good to see you again.
Oh, Scott's in the bayou.
Yeah.
Love you, Leanne.
Zach.
Francois.
Yeah, so it looks like we got a lot of regulars. So this shouldn't be a new show for
George.
most people. Hey, Eric, wait,
James
what's
Morgan.
going on with you? I haven't talked
just
to
got
Eric.
back from
I was going to say I haven't-
Scott.
I'm curious to hear how his trip over the pond went. To see what's new with him.
He's got a
in
lot of good stuff
Scotland.
on Facebook.
Here's
from
an
that.
interesting one. So Peter Newman says, interesting Japanese whiskey class last night at my local Total Wine. A speaker has been a guest on the Scotch for Dummies.
Ooh, tell us more. Dun dun dun.
Oh,
The plot thickens. That's cool. I hope you had a
For
good time.
Scotch.
We've got a Total Wine that's going to open in our town here next month.
yeah.
So we're
Excited for
hoping
that.
to be able to
Yep.
build a good relationship with them and do the same thing.
Okay, that's nice.
Hey,
Um,
Lee was talking about her audio.
What'd
Up
she
a little
say?
bit. Right there.
Uh-oh.
Down.
Down.
There.
Drew, your audio's a bit. Well, that's because I'm not eating the mic, but I'll bring it up. But thank you.
Maybe I'm too loud. We'll see.
It's okay.
Jeez.
I'm not talking
I
loud
felt
yet.
that passive comment. Hi, Mike. I see George,
Bob
Steve
H
A,
is in.
Bobby H.
You say Bob H is having a colonoscopy in the morning. Or maybe that's just regular.
Shibui whiskey is Peter said.
Shibui.
Nice.
So
Yeah,
let's see.
I want to know more
who
about
would have
it.
been on but Scotch is now doing Japanese.
Yeah, tell us who
Yeah,
this
I'm
individual
curious.
is. This mysterious.
I'm not
person.
sure, but we've got a show tonight to do, and
We do.
So
So
let's
we'll
get
keep an
to
eye
it
on
while
the
we're
comments.
wondering. We'll come back to the comments
Yep.
in a few. So I'm gonna go ahead and turn the comments off. Tom, it's your cue if you want to share in just a second.
So
Comments are disappeared. If you don't see them. But tonight's show is all about a Dram Good Time. I was last week. This is Andrew's turn, and it's number 8.
It is number 8. Now, tonight's Dram Good Time, I wanted to just do one whiskey tonight because there's so much good Scotch in the news that we want to hit that as well. So I don't know if we want to start with one of those or we want to go directly into the Dram Good Time.
It's whatever you want to do. It's your show.
completely up to you. I mean, we got comments turned off, so we can.
Oh, well,
do
let's
that.
go. All right, let's go.
do it.
Dram Good Time. So tonight's whiskey is a whiskey we've had. It's been a few years.
What's this about? How does this work? For those who don't know.
You're right. So Dram
Reset.
Good Time, this is a retrial of one of the reviews we did online. So this is a whiskey that we have a YouTube review, usually 15 to 25 minutes, on this whiskey. Tonight, we're going to go through the same whiskey, but it's blind for everyone that doesn't, for the other two dummies tonight.
The two of us, the two Utes.
We don't know what's in this glass.
So this has been tasted. We've reviewed it. We've given all our flavor comments before. And now we're going to try it again.
So if you're inclined, you can go back and watch the old video to see if we've changed, if the whiskey's changed, if we're in line, what's different, what's the same. Our goal is not to guess the whiskey. Don't
Correct.
really
We always
care
try,
about
but
that. We
yes.
will try. It's
Yeah.
it happens, man.
It's
That's
part
just
of,
part of it.
what you do, but
But-
yes.
Our goal is to literally just judge this and see what we're getting, give you our perceptions and whether we like it or not, and put a score on it and see.
Exactly.
I mean, historically, we've been pretty
Not
much
bad.
Pretty
in
close.
line.
Not bad.
We're pretty close to staying in line, which surprises me because I know my palate's changed over the past 8 years. I mean, we were sampling whiskeys earlier tonight that were supposedly peated, and I'm like, I don't get any peat. And you're like, dude, there's peat on this.
I'm going to take this one so you guys can't see the color. I'm going to give you two of the black glasses.
And
And I'll take
All right,
the
so
gold one.
anyway,
Okay.
back to tell us what you can tell us about this whiskey.
This whiskey has been reviewed by us before.
oh, well, that's good.
And that's all I'm giving up tonight. Or that's all I'm giving up right now.
Ooh, this
Okay.
is I like how you poured it too. You poured a nice big sample here.
Well, see,
Oh, you did pour a big
this
sample.
one, so I will say this is more than 40% ABV, so we may need to add some water to it.
Hang on.
Uh-oh.
So I tilted it over to wet the inside, and I spilt a little bit, and I got it on my hands, and I wonder if that's the wood from the bar or the whiskey.
So I've gone in for a nose. It smells pretty damn hot. But I will say rum raisin is the first impression I've gotten the nose so far. It's hard to get past the ABV right now.
That's true.
This is probably at first guess, first nose, like probably 59, 60 ABV.
It smells earthy to me. Heavy, earthy, definitely hot. There's a lot of alcohol in there.
Mm-hmm.
Earthy, musty, like maybe a shovel full out of a damp cellar.
It's Raisin Bran right now.
Really?
Raisin
It's
bran.
Raisin Bran.
Oh,
Ooh,
yeah.
That's more than I. Okay, good for you.
Yeah, I could totally get that.
Yeah, that's what I get on the nose.
I can't get past the cellar floor. That's not a bad thing. Don't take that. I mean, nothing negative and positive.
Cellar floor in a bottle. It's a great marketing tool.
I don't know.
Now I'm hungry. I want some cereal. It smells so good.
You haven't had Raisin Bran forever.
Oh, I love Raisin
Those
Bran.
little
It's
sugar-coated
good.
raisins.
Oh,
Man, I tear a box of that shit out.
that's good. So
But
good.
you got to get after it because it gets soggy. And
Yeah,
then-
you can't let it sit there. No, you got to eat while it's crunchy.
Okay.
It's warm.
That's all.
So-
That's all I get now.
Tell me
warm.
before I take my first sip, when was our review of this?
This review was just prior to COVID,
Okay, so 19-ish.
January of 2020.
Okay, I was going
that's
to say
hot.
late 19.
That's
All right,
hot.
so January of 2020. So this is one of the last reviews before I lost my taste.
It is.
That's real hot.
Yeah, we were all in that. I think somebody said something about a virus in China, but I don't know if it's ever been here yet.
So interesting as it's wafting off, the alcohol is coming off of this, and it's getting a little bit easier to approach. I'm actually getting a little bit of a grape note.
I had grape in the nose earlier, but raisin. I mean, so
right,
yeah,
exactly. So that's what I'm saying. It's coming together.
yeah. It's
Does that tell you what casking is? That a
Well,
cask
I
sign,
mean,
or is that just the new make?
potentially the palate is so hot. It's hard for me to. I want to put water on it, but I also want to give it some time here to kind of do its own magical thing here.
Yeah, this has been poured for about an hour now.
Yeah.
but it's had a cap on it, so it hasn't really had a chance to air out.
It needs to air out and open out some, but it's got a lot of potential. It's rich. It's almost deep, rich like an SMWA. I mean SMWS. It's very raisiny, right? But that's all I'm getting right now. So that's a very first impression. Other than that, I'm waiting.
On the early finish, I got a little bit of coffee ground. In the late finish, it turned to more of a burnt coffee ground. And that's what's sticking with me. That's the lasting long flavor that I've got right now.
I would love to get coffee. I'm not getting coffee yet.
Coffee grounds, almost like, I mean, honestly, like the last sip of a coffee that's
Like
got
the-
some of
a
the grounds
used
in it.
bit,
Yeah,
yeah.
Kind of a bitter. Yeah, I'm not getting that right now.
So that's finished. That's late finished. That's
So the nose is more grapey now than it was before.
Sure.
Interesting.
It's definitely not as earthy and cellar flory. How do I say
I can't
that?
believe you said that.
I don't know.
It's a made up word.
That's why we do this. We pull up what hits on our head. That's what we're supposed
It
to
burns the nose. This is hot, boys. This is hot. Ooh.
So, do we have an age on this? Is this a non-age statement? Is this a single malt? Is this a
do.
blend?
What do you think? Talk to me.
Yeah.
What's your view of this?
Hang on. I'm thinking out loud. I'm talking here.
Yep.
This is very, very deep and rich. Wow. Okay, second palate, second flavor. Man, molasses, raisins, sugar, plums. It's kind of a short finish. I'm not really chewing on anything. It's not peated, not smoky. I have no idea what this is, but I can tell you it's still very hot. I'm gonna put some water on.
So, when you say very hot, we'll give me a
I'm
number.
gonna say this is a 59.
I was going to say 58.
You said both said that earlier. I mean,
I was going to say 58. So,
Are we close?
you are close.
she's
58 probably.
She
It's
punches-
it's upper 50s for sure.
She punches
So I will-
hard. But there's a lot going on. I'm very curious to see what the water's going to do. I think it's going to actually
So,
bring a lot of this out.
Are you getting Oloroso or are you getting PX? Because I mean, I would say it's probably in the sherry category.
With what you described, the raisins.
It has
and
to be.
Yeah, it is a sherried whiskey. I'll admit that.
I was going to say that. I was going to say, there are the whiskeys out there, Drew, that don't claim PX or Oloroso. They claim sherry.
Yep.
Yeah, I know.
And that's kind of where I'm feeling on this because
It needs a lot of water.
I'm not getting an overall feeling towards one of the other, and maybe it's both. I mean, at the end of the day, that we see that from time to time, but
I don't remember.
um,
Let me look that up again.
I guess the curiosity in me wants to know if this is this a distillery offering?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
This is something you can get off the shelf.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh, okay.
So one thing to note is you didn't get to age. Do you have an age on it? Did you put an age into it?
Gosh, I don't know yet. Give me some time here for a second. I just had my second sip
So-
with a little bit of water, and it's so much better. There's just chocolate notes coming through. The raisins back, almost buttery, creamy. Like that, none of that was there before because that ABV was just masking it. So
I
it's
agree. It's much
it's
better
opening up. I'm gonna put even more water on in a second.
so single malt or blend?
I don't know yet. I'm not tasting. I'm going to go single malt.
I'm saying single malt. I honestly don't feel any
This
grain
is
in
too
there.
good for a grain. There's no way this is naked. There's no way. Because naked's only like 43%, so it's not naked. But it has But to be fair, naked is one of those very underrated for the price. What you're getting, kind of flavor profiles. Yep. It's very much like raisin.
So water definitely brings this one to life, right?
Totally.
Without water, it was fair. To me, it was intriguing without water because I knew water was going to do something. I was like, okay,
it was so tight.
I need to get to know you. We need to spend some time, right? I need to figure out how to get you to talk to me a little bit more. And water made that happen. So now it's a matter of just breaking this down and figure out a number of where I want to come in.
I'm going to quit trying to figure out what it is.
Yep.
I'm going to focus on, is it aged? Is it...
Well, explore the whiskey. How much do you like it? What character notes do you like? What would give it a range from?
I like it. I feel like it is it's a little bit, I hate to say one-dimensional, but it kind of is. It's very focused on that trail of raisins and grapes. I've got a hint of chocolate now in the back end, but that is predominantly all I'm getting. I'm not getting any wood influences. I'm not getting, obviously, no smoke or peat. I'm not getting any other. For me to give a high score, I want some breadth. I want a little bit of diversity. I want some other flavors coming on. It's very one way in that sense. It's good. I like it. But it's also one of those whiskeys where I don't know what it is, but it's very specific to a mood and profile that you're wanting to taste right now. Like, this is not an everyday drinker. This is because I want that kind of profile.
Yeah, so for those that don't know, our rating scale goes from 1 to 4, with 1 finger being probably not something you want to have or share. A 2-finger pour is one where it's a good everyday dram. It's something that you want to have on your bar if it's affordable and you're willing to share. A 3 is a really great whiskey that you pretty much want to share with everyone because you want them to show how good this whiskey is. And then a 4 is an exceptional whiskey that is really
you share
top
with
of the notch. you share with your whiskey aficionado friends because it's probably pretty expensive for those ones, and it's just great whiskey.
It doesn't have to be.
That's correct. You can have some of,
and
some
it's
good
based
bottles.
on the old adage of the finger pour. You give me a 1-finger pour, which is only this much. A 2-finger pour is this much. So if you want a 4-finger pour, you're saying give me a whole glass of that because that's really
fill
good
her
shit.
up.
Yeah,
fill her up.
But I'm curious. You said something, right? Like, this isn't an everyday drinker. Did you say that for the masses that are watching on the other side of this camera, or did you say that for you, Drew? Because I drink with you nightly. And
I would say nightly, to be clear.
Pretty damn close. We're on Xbox freaking shooting people in the head, drinking drams. And I could see this in my glass.
This is wheelhouse.
No, it's definitely a wheelhouse. But I guess I have learned personally. I have learned to be very particular in. I think anybody that's really getting in that is not getting into whiskey, that's been into whiskey for a while, has, like, if you say, hey, what's your favorite whiskey? No one that has been drinking whiskey for years is going to say it's this. It depends on your mood, and this is very much a mood flavor for me, and it's great. I love it, but I'm not. This is something I'm not going to go like, I want that tonight. I want that tonight. It's going to be like, man, I'm in the mood for something raisiny and sweet, and that's.
So
yeah, it is a bold flavor.
I'm stuck between a 2.5 and a 3.
Before you do that though, we got to get some more information. How much is this bottle and what it changed?
So this bottle is a bit difficult to get now. When we first reviewed it, it was $80.
No shit.
But this is a bit of a unique version of what's on the shelf.
Yeah, I know what it is. But you can't get it anymore?
You can. Huh. Yeah, you can get it. I looked it up before I came down here. It's secondary market now, though, for this specific one. I mean, admittedly. You don't know what it is?
It's not Macallan.
No, I know it's not Macallan. Is it really secondary? Hmm? Well, shit, if that's the case, I'm not open to mine.
What do you think it is?
I'm not saying because I don't want to be wrong in front of everybody.
This is like the third time I've asked. Do you have a year on it?
12.
I was gonna say.
You say 12.
I was
Okay.
gonna say.
You think long, you think wrong.
That's true.
That's
It's
what people
I'm
play down
stuck.
on.
Go with
man.
your
I'm
gut, man.
stuck.
Go with your gut.
Because I like it. It feels like it's got some maturity to it. I'll say 14.
It's under 10.
I was gonna say
Under
actually I was
10?
gonna say non-age statement
Under 10.
originally, but
It's under 10?
Yeah.
All right, so I'm glad I didn't say what I thought it was.
it's under 10, and it was 80. It's now just if you had to put a number, 100 and some odd.
500.
Well, that changes
So,
a little
somewhere
bit, but-
between 250 and 500, depending on who has it.
It was $80 when we did it.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
There's
How many
no
years ago?
freaking
2
way.
2022, two, 3 years.
Yeah.
At $500?
That's that.
See,
Okay,
that
so
hurts. So,
do we?
here's-
Okay, let's hold on.
We're
Time out.
always stuck with this.
Time out.
Yeah.
Do we do we score it at 500 or 80? I mean, that's not fair.
You're right. That's not fair. Because
It's not, and we're always stuck with this because over the last 8 years, we have
Okay, so
we've used price.
I'll tell you right now, I'm not spending $500 on whiskey hardly ever.
correct.
So
let's do this for tonight, because the price change has been so expansive on this one. Let's do a double review, $80 or $500. Can you give me two scores?
that's fair.
I guess how much?
That's fair.
What's the cost adder?
I mean, okay, so yeah,
If
I like that idea.
$80 whiskey.
I like that idea.
Assume it's an $80 whiskey. What do you give it?
3,
Yeah, I give it a 3 for sure.
Okay,
Solid three.
$500 whiskey.
2, 5.
2.
Okay. So a couple things. I can give you hints that's going to give it away pretty quickly.
Well,
Well, then
before you
hold
do that,
on.
let us talk through it a little bit more because now you've really intrigued me on what the hell this bottle is.
I'm going for glass number 2. We had one
Did
for
you kill it
the
already?
fourth down. No, it's almost, but I'm going for this. We had one poured for the,
Well, don't
man
don't
down.
overthink it though. I mean, this is the process. This is what we go
This
through.
is-
So the point that
It was
listen,
a
it's
20-minute review, and we're good.
it's killing me because I want to try to figure out what this is, right?
No,
Obviously, but it's not. That's not the goal of the re-reviews. It's to give it a fair assessment. I think I feel like I have given it a fair assessment personally on my nosing and palate. I feel true to that. And if I'm basing it off of $80, I would give this a solid 3. I love what I'm getting out of it. It's complex enough. It's potent enough. The ABV is strong like bull, so you can play with it
For sure.
For absolutely everyday 3.
It's a rich cherry bomb.
For sure.
really blows it up. Yeah.
It's that. If you got to give me $500, that's not really a fair thing, right?
$500. It's not worth. I don't think it's worth $500.
No, it's not. It's not.
For whiskey under 10 years.
So I guess let's
It
make
does
it.
have an age.
Let's make it the same age, the same price as what we did
Yeah,
3 years
that's
ago.
probably fair. That's the only way you're going to be able to.
Have
compare.
did we give it that way? Our tasting now is it good? Is it higher or lower than what we gave it? So I'm gonna give this a 3.
Okay.
I think you said 3 too, didn't you? Oh, there's walnut in that now.
Is it getting better?
Yes,
to be honest with you,
absolutely.
it's a 3+. It's a
This
good
is
whiskey.
this is getting better. Holy
With
crap.
water and time. It's a really good whiskey. Neat. It's fun. It's intriguing to me.
You gotta let it sit there for like an hour.
It's too much neat. I
You
mean,
gotta let it sit for an
it's so
hour.
tight.
It is, but it's intriguing. It's still enough to grab your attention and be like, oh, shit, man, I got to get in there, right? And so you do, and when you do, the reward is there. So to me, it's damn near 3.5 because it's evolving. The more we talk, the more this changes.
Could you imagine this? Well, like I just had a sip. It's phenomenal. It's great. But could you imagine this with a little bit of funk in it? Like, oh my god, the tail end of that would make this a 4. Like it's so strong in the palate. The
So you're not
finish is a
getting any
little
funk
bit
in it?
weak. No, I'm not getting any funk in it.
Okay.
I don't know.
You got a cellar floor. Is that not funky?
It could be.
Now he's got me wondering.
I know.
It's a funky. And I don't think
quit
I would
acting
not
with
call
my
this a
mind.
Campbelltown.
And you don't think this is peated either?
Quit playing with my emotions, Smokey.
Well, that's what I'm doing. See, this is what this is the purpose of this is we push each other and create that kind of dichotomy. What is your mind thinking?
No.
Because part of doing whiskey tasting together is to bring up words.
Dried red fruits are coming through.
I'm not getting impeded. You're not tricking me.
That's right.
If it is, it's good
absolutely.
for them.
I'm getting.
That's why I said it. It's like,
no.
Do you believe it's peated?
No.
And if they don't, that's
and
fine.
a dried red fruit is a raisin. I mean, I'm getting raisin and even like dried raisins, like almost.
If
like
I was
dirt
to
dry.
call out a distillery on this, personally, based on my experience, I would say this is probably closer to a, not a Glendronach, what's the small bottle?
Damn, I wish I could see the color.
bullet bottle. What's
Glenrothes?
Glenrothes. Thank you. That's what I'm thinking. But it's
So
not
like a Glenrothes 18, maybe.
No, it's lower. It's like
He said it was
under
He
10.
said it was under 10. I'm lost when he says that. That I'm done.
I absolutely have no idea what this is.
I've got nothing
no,
on that age.
no idea.
All right.
This is a good one.
At first, I'll go out there and be the ass, and
No,
at first
yeah,
I honestly was leaning towards a
Blackheart.
Brunehaven 12 cast strength.
That is actually a really reasonable comparison. Yeah, I think that's
where
pretty
I was
good.
So is it Bowmore?
It is not.
No, I didn't think it was that.
It is. The ABV is 57.1.
57
No
point.
shit.
God damn, it's not Kilkerran. It is not Kilkerran.
We were giving this 4.
Kilkerran 8, 57.1 sherry cask from 2000.
It's got 4s.
It got a 4s across the board.
Well, we did give it 3.5 at the end of the day.
Dead.
We killed the bottle tonight. So this is a bottle kill.
That bottle's going. Are you seriously saying it's going for $500 right now?
$500.
I got 3 of them.
I've got 3 of them upstairs.
Keep them or sell them.
Are you kidding me?
So
We killed
I
that
like to
bottle.
think that we started that trend.
So admittedly, I did get the funk, but I knew what it was. And that bottle has been open for a
long
while.
time.
I don't know. I mean, I think I did get a couple, and this may be my
Hey,
second
Drew,
bottle.
Give me your glass.
So I would agree, and maybe because it was old, it didn't have as much funk, but I still got funk on it. And
This was-
when you said
dude.
cellular floor, I'm like, he's on it. He's
Dude,
gonna
you
figure it
said
out.
this is prior to him losing COVID. So this was our bottle of the year, 2022.
Yes, it
It
was.
was a 2020
2020.
2020. Yes, thank
Yeah.
you.
or in 2019.
Y'all gave
God
it a 4.
damn, the comments are going to kill us. I don't even look at them because this is an infamous bottle for us and our viewers. I know it is.
Pushed a lot of people to buy it, and I bought 3 of them myself.
Good
I'm not
Lord.
kidding. You know how many bottles of this we've killed?
So what is different? What makes this a 3 versus a 4 when we had it before? Now maybe the bottle is off gas, so some of the funk's gone. That's a fair assessment.
Knowing what it is now, I stand by my $80 3.5. Absolutely, for sure. But it's missing. It is missing that Cameltown funk that I remember having. The charriness, the little bit of that Oloroso.
Oh, it definitely is.
It's not. I can now that I know what it is. I can kind of memorize it, stretch it, but it's definitely weaker than when it was.
Yep.
And so there's the question, and I'm not trying to give us an out here, but an old bottle that's got a quarter, that's got 2 inches in it, does that matter?
There was like, admittedly, this is a completely fair assumption. This is why we do this blind, and don't give you all the information. And maybe it would be interesting if I had said, okay, there were like 3 inches left in this bottle, and that might have changed some opinions, but I love doing this.
So
the
there's
color's
the color
great.
of
Yeah,
it,
the color's
yeah.
beautiful. I mean, it was
Oh,
dark
boy.
red. Beautiful stuff.
It's good, and we've gone through enough of this. We've done enough of this whiskey, and to be honest with you, I don't pass one up. I'll be honest with you guys.
If you can find a 57.1,
I don't.
Yeah.
I don't pass up a 57.1 or a 56.9 when I see them and they're reasonable. I buy them.
So I will stand behind. I want to go back. Did you watch the review, the original review of us? Did I say rum raisin? Was I in that category when we first reviewed it? I'm curious to see if I was on track.
We were going over the funk. We were going over the sherry richness.
Then she's flat.
She's not the same bottle I remember.
I
sorry,
think maybe
ma'am.
you may be right. You may be right.
You know, the humidity's got to her. The hair's dropped a little bit, and that's fair. I'm not trying to beat her up.
See, the thing is, knowing what it is, I got all those rich flavors out of it. and I wasn't going to say anything. I couldn't give you the ABV because I knew 57.1 was going to trigger you guys. I couldn't give you the if I gave
You're
it, if
right.
I said it
Because
was
as soon as you said 57.1, I'm like, I know what it is.
if I had said 8-year-old, you might have hit it as
So
well.
I
'cause
said
there are a lot of
58.
80s.
I said 58%.
Well, you guys
We were right there.
You were in that.
I will
57.
say, from like, if you're putting money on betting on ABV, let us do it for you. Who sent us that? Tom R.
Tom R.
Great pick, Andrew. Love this format. Yeah, this was
you, Tom.
this was a
Tom,
really
Tom super chatted us for me and you looking like idiots.
yeah. Well,
Thanks,
I don't know.
Tom.
I don't think I look like an idiot.
No,
I feel like I did
mean,
okay.
We
I-
held
yeah.
it. The whiskey.
Okay, look at this, Nick. I love the look of confusion. No shit. I mean, this is
That
oh.
and see that this is how whiskey can humble somebody. And if you think you're a pompous SOB because you can pick at whiskeys, yeah, go blind a few times because it really makes it harder. Now there are people I know. Ben Dietrich, you give him a whiskey, he's like, okay, this is a Highland ex-bourbon
good. He's good.
casks,
Yep, he's
probably
good.
7 to 8 years. Yeah, he's really good. He can
I'm
really
gonna try and get a.
but blinding is really tricky
Dram
unless
cam
you've
of
really
this.
done a lot of time on that.
So this is. Let me hide the comments for a second.
This was the first sherried version of the Kilkerran 8. The bottle before this was an ex-bourbon
That
bottle.
was a 56.9 or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so this one came out 57.1, and it was sherried, and it's. I mean,
It just blew us up.
It's dark as shit. It's thick. And we fell in love with it. It scored a 4 on our show, and that year was awesome. They followed it up with another sherry bottle at 56.9, which was arguably better. There's
I think it was less funky.
it was 50-50 would say it's better. I mean, it was up there. Very good bottle. And then they came out the year after that with a share. They've got 2 different versions. They've got one that's a port and one that's a.
Did you pour me some more?
I did. I poured it in your glass right here,
Oh, thank you.
and that's yeah.
Thank you.
You guys are like,
It's like the best shit ever.
I
so.
think I think the Kilkerran runs of the sherried matured 8-year-olds is coming to an end,
Yeah.
but I wouldn't be surprised to see them revisit it because they were successful. They flew off shelves, and on secondary market,
they're
you're right.
killing it.
On auction, they're expensive as shit.
So we've got some bottles upstairs.
we do.
You do too. I've got the 56. I also have this year's bottle of this. I haven't opened yet. I got from Storied Company.
And that's not it's sherried, and it's actually a different shaped bottle.
So this is the
No, that's right. Or
this
doing
is a recharged sherry
spring
butt, if I remember correctly. And I specifically remember having that charring funkiness before that I loved. I did not get it tonight.
You still don't get it in the
I
palate.
don't get it tonight.
With it in your mind. You don't. I see. I do. I get that funky
No, but I get that
barnyard.
redness in it.
When you
It's-
said cellar, I thought he's
it's a
going
delicious
barnyard.
dram. It is. It's good. It's good.
Okay, great.
It's good.
So that was a fun one.
Wow, what a pick.
I will admit, this is not the intention of the a Dram Good Time is a bottle you can get now, so we can kind of re-review what the current bottling is. So this may have been a little off.
Of a stretch.
This was a winner for us tonight.
It was. I had another one picked, but maybe we'll save that for another night.
This is a great one. Thank you for pulling this one out. I would say that it. I just had another sip of it. I can now that I know what it is. I'm kind of searching for it a little
Yeah,
bit,
yeah.
right? So it is there a little bit, but it is interesting. Dr. Scotch, if he was here, he would talk about. But we talk about oxidation and things like that. I mean, it does. How old is that bottle you had?
So this is not the one we tried in 2020. So it's probably, boy, I can't remember.
At least a year.
I've opened it. It was opened probably last year. So it's been a year, but
But it's been sitting at.
But I mean, you had that much left, right?
Quarter.
Probably
yeah,
a
it
quarter.
was about 3 inches left. So you're right. That may have been milk may have gone bad a little bit.
It's one of those things where I don't think it's a blanket statement to say that when you've got a little bit of whiskey left, it's going to go bad. But I think there is something to it. Like there's something
I think
that
it changes. For
I
sure.
and I think it's really true with really complex kind of those really aromatic whiskeys, because those do volatile off. You know that if you leave a glass out for a half an hour to an hour, it's a different whiskey when you go back to it. So it's going to be the same thing in a bottle. if it's been opened and closed multiple times, because I
What do you
drink this.
What's chat? What do you guys think about that? Do you guys agree? Do you agree that basically if your bottle is around a quarter left, you should probably drink it sooner because more than likely it's not going to be as good? Do you guys agree that's probably a decent statement to say? I mean, I feel like it's probably true.
I'd
but
say
not,
a quarter bottle.
depends on how much is left, I guess.
So Tom Harper says
I like
one
it.
quarter bottle left equals 4 to 5 months. That's
fair.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I'd get on board with that. I would follow that statement. It does happen. I had a bottle of Lafroig Lore. Good bottle, $115, $120 bottle. Loved it. I ended up forgetting about maybe a fifth of the bottle upstairs in my office for a long time, and I finally saw it. I was like, "Oh shit,
really?
look at that!"
Yeah.
I poured it on, and it was
Meh.
Meh. Oh, that's too bad.
Meh.
Meh.
You hate when one of your favorites goes bad.
And I was like, man, that's my fault. That's my fault. I put it in that position, and I didn't finish it when I should have. So you got to know when to put it down.
As a zebra hunter would say.
And Eric Waite suggests that you should drink it sooner and faster, which I agree.
Amen, Eric.
Joshua talks about oxidizing the bottom quarter is bad. So,
Yep.
I
Exactly.
think everybody agrees with that. Ooh, depends on the ABV, Zach.
That's a good comment, Zach. I'll give you that. I think this one probably lasted a little longer. It was higher ABV, but
It is. It was so potent. I mean, that
It's
was
still
the thing.
good. Don't get me wrong. I'm loving it.
Yeah.
well,
I love it.
I also like it because it's just an excuse. I mean, whiskey's always better shared. So if you got something down, we call them zebra hunters. Hey, call your friends. It's time to kill this bottle.
Shoot it.
Love it.
Put
That's a
it
great
down,
idea.
man. Put it down.
Yeah.
So we do have some. Hey, by the way, thanks. That was
Yeah,
awesome.
Oh, you're welcome.
Cheers.
Cheers.
That was fun.
That's a great whiskey. Love
Good,
it.
good one. Okay. So you guys want to get some news?
Yes.
We
So
do have
w-
a couple of good, interesting things to talk
Yeah,
about.
the Scotch in the news tonight is great. We haven't done this episode or this segment in a while, and we kind of got behind. So let's start with the Lafroig one.
Okay.
So what we're gonna Scotch in the news. What we do is we go through the internet, look for whiskey information, new news, and
What's
things like
going
that.
on in the industry, right?
Yeah. So this one is great. Lafroig looking at a new environmentally friendly package.
So not the first distillery to do this,
No,
right?
no,
It's
no,
kind
no,
of
no.
the trend. It's kind of the trend.
Yeah. So essentially, what they've done is they've gotten rid of the tube. They're going to a cardboard box.
Okay.
It's a little thinner. Supposedly, they save like 30% on the packaging.
And
I couldn't believe that actually.
it's supposed to be all recycled material.
Well, 30% of the environmental cost. So I guess if you're talking about a metal end
They
on
don't,
the tube.
let's be honest. No one cares about that. They're trying to save money.
Well, what I was worried about is, did they put this in a plastic bottle too to save?
They didn't.
a plastic
no.
bottle.
They did not.
According to the article,
Yes. Go ahead.
labels are the same. I mean, you're still going to see the traditional black and white Lafroig label, green bottle.
I actually
Glass.
love the
Glass.
marketing. I really think they did a great job of sticking to the green and white. Like they did a
You got
great
to.
job.
It's clean.
It's
Dude.
so fun. Like you look at this bottle. I mean, I can tell you right now. I know for a fact you guys do it the same thing I do. I'll watch a movie and I'll look at the background. I'll see the bar and I'm like, oh, that's a Lafroig.
All the
That's
time.
I mean, you can
All the
tell
time.
instantly by the marketing, and so you have to stay true to that. And I think they did a good job with their marketing piece and upgrades.
I do like the side
Macallan,
of the
by the
box.
way. Macallan, by the way, did the same thing. You saw it in duty free. Macallan and not Macallan. Yeah, it was no. Never mind.
McAllen's
Forget
always
it.
had boxes, right?
No, there's
Yeah.
a new branding. I just saw
Johnny Walker.
Johnny Walker.
Oh,
yes.
the Johnny Walker. Yeah.
Yeah.
All new branding for them. It's a whole different like marketing spiel for them.
Yep.
It's all one color. I'm not sure I like it.
I think they're shooting themselves in the fucking head. But anyway, the box. Go back up real quick, Drew. Okay, they're doing away with the can. All right, cool. I'm a traditionalist. I like the can. But you know what? What I like about the box, you see the raised embossed lettering on the side
Yeah.
that says Lafroig.
Yeah, that's good. Right here.
All right, good for you. And it still
cool.
has a good quality look.
Yeah.
and
It's not
some-
just cheap
right.
paper. Yeah.
And for God's sakes, don't ever lose the green bottle with that white label. You lose that, now I'm gonna have a problem. Okay, so you dropped the can and you went to a box. Okay,
This is
Yeah,
changed.
but think about this. Think about this. You're a young 22-year-old intern. Like, hey, I'm a marketing intern for a Scotch whiskey company. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to change it up. I'm going to get some new font.
Yeah.
I'm going to
They tried
splash.
that with Select,
I'm
and
going
what
to
happened?
splash Lafroig across the side. Wait, go back to because that article has information about Select too.
Shut up.
So
Go back to that article.
All right.
Lafroig is also, so if you scroll up to the top, just on his headline, Lafroig Select becomes Lafroig Oak.
What?
Because they can't sell it. Because it's
Yeah,
shite.
because it's shite.
It's shite.
It is shite.
Yeah.
Lafroig Select is a joke.
Lafroig learned that Select
Selected
is
was
not
not
a great term.
Lafroig Oak is actually a better term than Lafroig Select because
Hey,
Select
you know
makes
what?
it sound like it's really unique. It's
And
not at all.
That intern never got a job.
Yeah.
And so they changed it to Oak to add a little flavor, to add a little. Well, this should be an oaky Lafroig. Yeah. Unfortunately, the whiskey is still the same.
You can put lipstick on a pig.
Oh, so they say
It's
its
it.
name is henceforth be Oak to clearly reflect the flavor profile. I actually think that's a very smart move
the
because
sixth- yeah.
Select doesn't. It's very misleading, and when you try it, you're like, Select bullshit. This is not good.
It's Select Pest.
It's like watered down.
Yeah,
Watered down
exactly.
Lafroig 10.
So I would say that's actually a very smart marketing move because it might actually help with sales.
Yeah, it
So
was not going well.
the box looks. I think it looks good.
Yeah,
I think
I
they
think so
did
too.
good there, and they kept the bottle. That's
Yeah.
fine.
30% less CO2.
All right,
Let's see
fair
what people
enough.
are saying
All right.
about it.
The curiosity is it?
Yeah,
cost
Steven
cheaper?
Rogers. Yeah, Select not great. yeah,
Do scroll up for a second. So yeah.
a squeeze bottle. Hey,
Squeeze
I like that
bottle.
idea.
A squeeze bottle. Mama's got a squeeze bottle.
Plastic
Where's
handle.
it?
Yeah, I like the
Yeah.
Lafroig plastic handle.
Yeah.
All
All right.
right.
So which one do we want to go to next?
All right,
How about
let's
this one?
go. Well, this should be
This
fairly
is
quick.
interesting. Yeah, I
Rose-
didn't read through this one
Rosebank.
as much.
Starting up again.
Rose.
We just had a Rose
Bank.
Bank at the 8-year
25-year.
gathering that was outstanding, but this is new, and they're just getting in the barrel, which is a good sign.
It's in the barrel, boys.
So how much do you think people are going to pay for that first barrel?
Oh my God, so much money.
That barrel right there, 2023 001 and 0 and number 2. So 001 got the black face on it.
Well, and it's a
like,
smaller barrel. That means that they're going to sell that for a fortune pretty quickly because it's a smaller barrel.
Yeah.
Hell yeah,
That was
it
like
is.
sherry butt right there.
But that one's also so that's a bourbon barrel
Yeah.
right on the right. But
Yeah.
the one on the left is gonna be sherry influenced. So either one of those barrels are gonna go for a shit ton. But it's coming, and I'm very curious.
I hope it's great because Rosebank is so great.
I love Rosebank.
Part
Nice
of
and
me-
stuff.
If you can
really
find one, you need to try it,
wants-
even if it's a small sample, whatever.
to buy an old Rosebank before they're gone.
Oh, it
and,
says right there.
And crazy.
Refill bourbon barrel is the first one.
Shaped the fruity floral character.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's what those old Rosebank taste like, is that fruity
A few more
floral.
years for
Yep.
the Ian McLeod.
The curiosity is buy an old Rosebank, or if you have an old
Yeah.
Rosebank, save it to be able to try to compare it.
I mean, who's saving that? If
it's-
you got a
it's-
Rosebank, you're
well,
drinking
no,
that son of a bitch.
and you can't expect them to reproduce it exact. It's
No,
not
they
gonna
won't.
happen.
They won't. You're right.
But
it's different grain. It's different everything.
is it still? My fingers are crossed. I just want it to have. I mean, because the old Rosebank's really good.
Yeah,
Old
I mean,
it's really good.
I want to give them credit and say that they probably know what they're doing. But you're right. You don't let us down because Rosebank is phenomenal.
You know what though? Not to tarnish that whole thing. And I'm excited as shit about it too. Rewind the tapes 20, 30 years. How phenomenal was Rosebank?
Are you saying it's kind of a fairy tale?
Not fairy tale, but it's been blown up.
Why did it close?
because- It's been blown up because.
So you're
I'm
so
not saying-
nostalgia because of
It,
the
it closed in 1993.
right
Yeah.
because of what happened. I mean, a lot of
it's
mothball
been-
happened though. I mean,
And you know what? The longer you've been gone, the more you're missed. I don't know. I'm not saying that because every Rosebank
Brora,
I have, I've enjoyed.
Rosebank,
Yeah,
cool
I mean,
name.
I mean, that's the question. Of all the distilleries that didn't close in the 80s and 90s, why did Rosebank close? And that's something we should do some research on.
Right.
That would be
It
an
could have been
interesting
mismanaged.
show.
It could have been they put so much stock in that they they sold themselves out. They didn't respond when the market was turning down in the late 80s, and they just ended up with too much whiskey and too much debt and said,
I'm not trying to dismantle what's happening or what the old Rosebank. It's good whiskey. I love it. I'm curious. Need to dig into the history of it.
Absence makes the heart grow fonder.
So
Exactly.
if any of the patrons kept some of that Rosebank sample that we had, keep it. Don't open it, because eventually we're going to get another Rosebank, and you're going to have to tell us, because we don't have a bottle
samples
anymore.
back.
Yep.
Send them back. All right, that's good.
So this next Scotch in the news is the one that I'm most. Oh, this isn't it, but this is cool. Check it out.
We'll say that if we have time. Let's go to the big one.
Let's go to the big one.
So big news.
This one blows me away. Scotch exports by volume dropped 20%. I'm not quite sure what H1 means. Half one?
First half of the year.
First half of the year.
Yeah.
I'm not used to seeing that. But, what the fuck
so
are you talking
2022 actually was the highest year of volume for Scotch whiskey ever.
Ever.
So that is a big point. But dropping 20% in a year. Now, the thing that they talk about here, this is right here on the second paragraph there. It was only a 3.6% drop in value. And they use a premiumization term, whatever it is.
That's
basically what it comes down to is people are buying more expensive Scotch. The volume is way down. The cheap whiskey isn't going. Now, the question is that because prices went up?
Because they're marked. They're hoarders.
Let's when you say volume is way down, let's put a number on that. It is 630 million bottles.
That's the difference.
Yes.
Between
Between
two
the years.
Yeah, so they dropped 20%.
It's down 630 million bottles.
That is a stunning number. I mean, can you just imagine creating 630 million glass bottles? Not to mention the whiskey, not any of that. I mean, what is that? 105 million cases of whiskey?
Right. Think about the space that consumes. That blows my mind. 20% is 630 million bottles.
Okay, yes.
That's a drop.
20% of what, though? Like, I mean,
so that
630 million volume, but this is mostly blends.
That'd be 3 billion bottles. Right?
Of all Scotch.
Roughly 3 billion
So you can
bottles.
say it's mostly blend. What they're saying, though, Drew, is the drop is because people aren't buying the blends. They're buying the premium bottles. They're spending the same amount, but they're buying less bottles because they're spending more per bottle, is what that article says, basically.
Now, there could be two ways to do that. Did prices of whiskey go up so much?
Well,
they
remember the tariff.
Right? Prices did go up.
I mean, it made
But
lots
remember, this is 2023. I thought the tariff disappeared.
And
The tariff was
been a
definitely,
year.
in fact, in 2022. So this is...
Well, is that based off
are those numbers
retrospective?
Yes, so those numbers are 20% drop in first half of 2023 from the first half of 2022. This is a 1-year change because they were going up pretty dramatically and hit the highest ever in 2022, and then they pulled back dramatically.
Okay, I'm gonna pull comments up because I'm actually really interested to see what you guys are saying.
If Eric's still on,
this is a good comment because I want to hear what people are saying in the chat about this because are you guys feeling the same thing we're feeling with that? I mean, does that make sense to you guys too? I mean, are we really buying bottles and calling it a Scotch whore over here and hoarding them and just not buying cheap stuff? I mean, is it because we're just not drinking as much?
Well, I mean,
what's the...
So every bottle,
I don't know.
Every bottle seems like it's $10 more than it was.
It is.
Well, sure.
And so if you're buying a $60 bottle and now it's $70 bottle, that would account for the difference in value.
Right. Yeah. But the price doesn't drop as much because you're charging more. So I mean,
that's what I'm saying. So the value doesn't drop, but the volume does. Because I'm not going to buy another bottle because I'm not going to buy as much. I've got a budget. This is what I'm doing, and that is what. And so my volume drops, but my budget stays the same.
So everyone has a good comment here. It's a big cost and inflation of older age whiskeys really curtailed my spending.
Yeah, see,
that's a true statement.
I think that's right. I think everything is so expensive now that you just can't afford to buy the same volume of whiskey you used to be able to. because it's I don't want to pay $100 for a bottle. It's silly.
Michael, same way. I've slowed down my Scotch purchases due to price increases.
Yeah,
I'm with you on that, Zach. I think 2022 was the record year, and now
for both volume and price.
For volume
it's
and value,
kind of like
and
the
price.
mortgage rates. It's like kind of deflating and inflating based
2022
on.
spiked so high and it broke all these records, so that now that 2023 is not meeting 22, everybody's going, "Oh Jesus, the sky's falling." You're like, maybe not. The sky's falling. It just last year they really fucking hit a home run.
Yeah.
Yeah, it could be. That's the thing. So what that tells me though is all the distillers were marking up. And actually, I remember looking at Eric's Wade Facebook. He was talking about how out of date all of the whiskey books are now because everybody has more stills now.
I saw that. I
And
did.
so
Tom Hopper says,
everybody's ramping up.
Tom Harper says, I had to look this up the other day. In 2010 to now is about 40% difference. So a $50 bottle in 2010 should be about $70 in 2023. I think that's a little high depending on the bottles, but it's not far off.
That's not.
It's not far off.
That
No,
feels
that's right.
comfortable.
Everyone
Yeah.
has a
I
great
don't
point
like
there.
that.
Go ahead and can you put everyone up there?
This one
During
here?
COVID, people bought a lot of spirits. Now they're taking vacations. That is true. I know travel sales this year were way above what they were in 2022 and 2021. So that's a potential too. So there was a reaction. So what I hope is that whiskey makers didn't overinvest in making whiskey, and now there's going to be a glut.
Well, Kim, your point there, I think that's, she says, I'm trying to buy only things that represent either something unique from what I already have or exceptional quality experience. I think it's a lot of us, but.
Well, Kim, you're of a different breed. When it
Yeah.
comes to that. We all are on this channel, right? I mean, we are all whiskey enthusiasts and Scotch lovers, and we're well down the journey. But these numbers that we're looking at in articles like this they represent the masses, right?
Yeah.
I mean, so
Exactly.
what are the masses buying?
Like
What are
we're
their
a
blends?
small, all of us are kind of a small percentage at this
Right.
point.
Well, I think several people here said, "Oh yeah, I'm not buying as much. I'm buying less whiskey because of the cost." So what I hope whiskey makers haven't done is they've gone so overboard that they now have warehouses sit with 630 million bottles of
doubt
whiskey
that.
that are waiting. Well, why wouldn't they? I mean, because remember, this supply chain for whiskey is 10 or 12 years down the road. You got to plan way out in advance. And so if you're trying to pay ahead, you go ahead and buy the bottles. Now, maybe you don't fill them, fair enough, but you got to have the bottles. So they've got warehouses full of glass bottles, which can be eaten down, but still.
Put Christopher's comment up.
Sure.
If we're going to find a silver lining.
Oh,
right?
this is a great one.
I mean,
love
we're
it.
going to
Call it
find
out.
a Christopher. You're damn right, Christopher. I'll drink to that,
Say-
right?
say it.
Cheers.
Can't lie. Only good thing to come out of COVID was my new love for Scotch. You don't need to laugh about that because I'm with you, brother.
Cheers.
Yeah, that's a great comment.
I mean, the pricing, whether it was COVID related, whether it was tax related,
Tariffs.
whether it's literally just inflation.
Well, it's scarcity too. Like this, I'm looking at that bottle. It's been staring at me all night. That Ben Rick over there. It's been staring at me all night. It's a great phenomenal. You can't find it.
It's gone.
It's gone.
Been gone
So,
for a long time.
A lot of this is just like any other thing, whether it's bourbon or rum or tequila. It's also kind of that hunt. It's that I'm
Yeah,
trying
there's
to
some fun
find
there.
things, not just buy what's on the grocery store. So I feel like that article could be skewed a little bit to say that, well, no one's buying our cheap stuff anymore. They're not buying expensive stuff because, well, I mean, people have kind of grown because of COVID and they've got a little bit more of a taste now. And I mean, I don't know. It's kind of weird.
Yeah, I think I would like to see the next year's numbers to see where it's going. Maybe it's just a kickback, maybe it's just a reaction, but
Well, according to the article that you found, and I read the whole thing, it was a very interesting article. The SWA, which really is in charge of
pull
controlling
back up real quick.
the price point. I mean, the SW, the
they,
Scotch
they,
Whisky
they
Association.
set the price.
Well, not so much the price. they do everything they can to safeguard the Scotch whiskey industry. That's their job.
Yeah, for sure.
Right. If you read it,
go to the top
they
so people can
point
see
blank say there, if the trend is moving more towards, what was the word? Premiumization.
Yeah.
If the trend is more
20%, that's a lot.
That's
but
a lot.
If the trend is more towards premiumization,
Who wrote
Scotch
this?
whiskey is in a great position, is what they're saying.
This is a spiritbusiness.com.
That's according to this article. Read through.
That's why I wanted Drew to pull this up, because it's the Spirits Business article website. So it's not just like a shill necessarily for Scotch whiskey. It's talks about all different spirits. So hopefully I want you all to do your own research on this and look at this article. Go ahead and click the links. There's lots of, they actually do a pretty good job of
there's a lot
linking
of links
different
in there.
information in
Yeah.
there. So please
Just
look at that
Google
as well. And maybe next week we can talk about maybe some things we missed by not going deeper into this. But
Yeah, just Google Scotch exports by volume drop 20% in H1. You'll find it.
The spirits business, because
At the end
actually
of the day-
there are several articles that several different websites that reference this, and I think this was the most kind of level-headed, fact-based discussion.
Right.
It's a very interesting conversation. We could probably do a whole show just
And
on
we're
that.
all vested in that. Whether you own 5 bottles of Scotch or whether you own
Yeah.
500, I don't know what. And we all drink it. And if you want to know where the industry's going and what it means to you, these are the kinds of things that's what Scotch in the News is about for us. We're literally just trying to see what's going on outside of our little world, because we all go into our local liquor stores and we see what's available and we're like, oh, great. But do you know what drives that? This is what drives that, and you need to be aware.
Well, everyone make a good comment. I also wonder if other whiskey markets are taking up the slack, like India, Taiwan. I mean, yeah,
Sure.
I
Why wouldn't
absolutely
they?
would say
That's a
that.
good point. We need to look at total spirit sales for 2023.
Yeah.
Of course they would, though. I mean, because they're putting out good whiskeys. If they were putting out shite, then who cares? That's not a good conversation point. But
my estimate is it's going to other lower price whiskeys like bourbons and things like that.
well, yeah, that's a good point.
So
But-
we're almost out of time, but quick question for you guys, and just to follow up with this. So I think it's safe to say that the last 4 or 5 years for sure that we've been doing this, it feels like we've been in a sweet spot for whiskey. Like in general, it's like it's been very popular, and I think it technically still is. Do you think we're on a down cycle? Do you think it's starting to slow down enough?
I don't think we're on a down cycle. I think we're on a weird period of we don't know what's going on because of the rest of the economy globally.
Sure.
I mean, when I look, I can speak for the United States. I know how I'm affected. I watch what's going on with my accounts, my investment, whatever. But I also start to look out around the globe, and I'm like, well, shit's a little shaky everywhere else too, right?
Yeah.
And so when I look at that, Scotch is not the only market that's affected. It is affected, and I'm like, okay, where does this lead me? I don't know. I think the Scotch industry is strong. I think the whiskey coming out of Scotland is strong. And I don't think they should be too worried about it. I'm not saying bourbon's not or these other industries aren't, but I got to be honest, man. To me, Scotch is strong.
The quality of Scotch is arguably better than it's ever been. There can be I would admit there's a lot of non-age coming through that they're trying to sell their younger spirits, but I think that the Scotch whiskey palette is still great. It's still broad, and it's a premium It's a premium product. My concern is they're maybe considering pricing themselves out of the larger
close.
volume. It's right on the edge there, and that may be what you're seeing with the volume down. That they're pricing themselves out of the whiskey market.
But is that that the job? You got to ride that wave. You got to ride that. I mean, if you
you can ride the wave up, but if you don't get off when the wave goes down, then all those
the
distilleries
goal
are going
is
to close.
stay on that line, right? I mean, that's someone's job.
Yeah, I thought about 6 months ago, I went to a liquor store, and I thought I saw some of those Scotch prices coming down. That they weren't that supply chain restricted 2021. So, you guys think?
the quality of TY Scotch content creators as best it's ever been.
I think that's correct. That's correct. I think he meant YT, YouTube Scotch creators, but either way, yeah, I agree. Scotch quality is better.
It's so much better.
It is so much better. Well,
all right, good show.
So that was fun. You threw us for a loop with the Kilkerran.
I'm still drinking mine. It's great.
I am too. I'm nibbling on it a little bit.
It's all gone. We have another one right here, don't we?
Let's just open it.
I don't think we do, actually. I think it's
Just
gone.
like, keep your dick beaters off.
I didn't. Good, gross.
Man, this is a family show.
Come on, Mark. All right.
Good seeing everybody. This was a good show. We had a good time. There was some good Scotch in the news. Next week, we've got a couple things that I didn't get to that I wanted to ask all of you out there. We ran out of time. It is what it is. But we need to come up with the next...
King of the Hill?
Well, the next series. What are we going to do? We've done some series that have been very popular over the history of the 8 years. King of the Hill was one of them. We did a blending competition that was very popular, if you will. And it was competitive. It was really fun.
Do me a favor, chat, and if you're watching us on replay and you're still here, thank you, obviously. But I would love for you guys to take the time and comment below and say, this is working, this isn't working, ideas. Let us know, because we are right now trying to figure out some new direction for the channel. Reinvention of some things. I don't know if I want to say this publicly, but we're actually looking at doing some TikTok videos as well. So crazy, I know, but let us know, like, what do you want to see from us? Are there new things? Are we doing okay with our live shows and King of the Hill and the Dram Good Time, etc.? What is it you want to see? And let us know. Yep. We appreciate it.
Anywho, happy Thursday night. Thank you for joining us on this conversation. And guys, I'm out of whiskey.
I am not. I'm good to go.
I'm good to go.
But to that, cheers. Thank you, guys.
Cheers. You guys suck. I'm out.
3, 2, 1.